Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young forever. Hi everyone, this is Nitin Saxena. I'm your coach for verbal ability, soft skills, and behavioral skills. I have an extensive experience of 16 plus years in the industry. In today's session, we are going to talk about the common errors of nouns. I know that nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, verbs, all such topics we all are already aware of. But just knowing the meaning of these topics and knowing the different parts of these topics, is it enough to qualify any competitive examination or any test of placement drive? The answer is simply no, because the examiners do not test you on the like basic concepts. I mean the meaning of nouns, pronouns, and the different other parts of speech, and they are even not going to test you on the like different kinds of these parts of speech. Rather, they are going to test you on the usage. I mean the common errors of all these parts of speech. So in today's session, we'll be talking about the common errors of nouns, which will actually help you to solve the questions of spot the errors, sentence correction, sentence improvement concerned with nouns, as well as it is going to improvise your communication skills in terms of spoken English. All right, let's see. Now we all know that nouns are the naming words in English. And a small recap of the different kinds of nouns. The different kinds of nouns are proper nouns, common nouns, collective nouns, material nouns, and abstract nouns. Now, are we aware of the concept that there are a few nouns which are always used in the singular form? There are nouns which are always used in the plural form, as well as there are nouns which can be used as singular as well as plural in English. So let us talk about such nouns today. So the first thing that I'm going to cover in today's session is nouns that are used only in the singular form. Now let us look at a few words. The examples of nouns, we have the words like scenery, information, furniture, advice, machinery, stationery, news, poetry, business, mischief, fuel, issue, repair, and bedding. So all such nouns, these are always used in the singular form and they take a singular verb after them. So there is no plural of scenery. There is no plural of information. This is always used in the singular form. Information always have a singular helping verb after it. Information is. We never say information are. Right? Scenery is. It is never called as scenery are. Alright? Fine. Let us look at a few examples out of these words. The first example says, the scenery of Switzerland is very beautiful. Now you can see, scenery has been used in the singular form and it is followed by a singular verb is. So we never say the scenery of Switzerland are very beautiful. It is always is very beautiful, as this noun is being used in the singular form. Let us look at one more example. The next example says, the information in the magazines is adequate. We never say the information in the magazines are adequate, although we are talking about magazines in which is a plural, but we are here talking about the information which is there in different magazines. So because this word is plural doesn't mean that information will also be used in the plural form. Information is always used in the singular form. It should be the information in the magazines is adequate. Coming to the next one. The next one says, We talk about certain disciplines here: physics, mathematics, economics, classics, ethics, athletics, innings, and gallows. So these are a few words which have s after their end, as you can see, but still they are used in the singular form and they always take a singular verb after them instead of a plural verb. All right, let us look at a few examples from here. We say economics is a subject that needs deep understanding of the concepts. So we never say economics are. It is always economics is a subject that needs deep understanding of the concepts. Let us look at one more example. The next example says, these days, the ethics of the politicians is deplorable. Although this word has s at the end, but still we use a singular helping verb after it. Ethics is. We never say ethics are deplorable. It is always ethics is deplorable. Coming to the next rule, the next we have nouns like brick, bread, fruit, and word. Word here means promise. We are not talking about word which in Hindi means shabd. It is a promise, right? So these words are also used in the singular form always in English. That means they have a singular verb after them. Let us look at the example from here. The example says, I wish to buy some fruit from the market, right? We generally say that I wish to buy some fruits from the market, and we return back buying just some bananas or just some apples, right? So just remember one thing, that whenever you buy or purchase like multiple units of a single fruit, it is always referred to as fruit in English. It is never referred to as fruits. Now, there is also word fruits in English. Now, fruits means whenever we talk about variety of fruits, that means I'm going to buy some oranges, I'm going to buy some bananas, I'm going to buy some apples, as well as I'm going to buy some pineapple, right? So if I like purchase variety of fruits, then it will be referred to as fruits in English. But if I buy like a single unit of a fruit or multiple units of a single fruit, then it will be referred to as fruit here, and it will always have a singular verb after it. So here we do not have a sentence of such kind where it is being followed by a helping verb, but here we are using this word in the singular form. Coming to the next example, it says Rohan was true to his word. So here I told you word means promise, right? So Rohan was true to his word. Word means he was true to his promise. He was not true to his words. Words means in Hindi it means shabd, right? So here we are talking about promise. Rohan अपनी बात का पक्का था. So Rohan was true to his word. Moving to the next category of nouns, it says words like dozen, score, hundred, thousand, million. When these nouns are preceded by a number, that is a numeral, then they are always used in the singular form. They are never used in the plural form. If we say 1 dozen or if we say 2 dozen, so it is always dozen. So whenever like it has a numeral before it, so whether we call it as 1 dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen, it is always dozen. It never has s at the end. If we say 100, if we say 200, 300, 400, 500, it never has s after it, right? So it is all, that means it is always used in the singular form. Let us look at the example. Example says, before going to London, my brother bought 4 pairs of shoes and 2 dozen shirts as they were expensive there. Now you can see in this example, it says 4 pairs of shoes. So the word pairs was not included in this category out here. So that is why it has s at the end. But these words which are mentioned here, dozen, score, hundred, thousand, million. So when these are preceded by a numeral, they do not have s at their end. So here we have written 2 dozen shirts. So shirts is plural in nature, but this unit doesn't have s at the end. It is always used in the singular form, which is dozen. Fine. Let us move to the next one. Next slide says expressions such as a 10 rupee note, a 6 hour journey, a 2 mile walk, a 5 year plan, a one man show, etc. So, such expressions are also singular in English, they are never plural in English because they have a before them. They are preceded by a. That is an indefinite article. And this indefinite article is always used for the singular countable nouns. This is never used for the plural nouns. So it is clear from here itself that these entities or these expressions are always used in the singular form. Let us have a look at the example here. Example says it was a one man show when James had to compare, act, sing, and dance on stage. So this expression is acting as singular in nature here, and it is a noun. It was a one man show when James, that means James को ये तीनों चीजें करनी पड़ी. Compare करना पड़ा. Compare means anchoring करनी पड़ी. Act किया उसी ने. Then he did singing and he also danced. उसने dancing भी किया. So when like one person, that is James, did all these 4 things, so that means it was a one man show. So this is a singular entity here. Fine. Let us look at one more example. Another example says he gave me a 10 rupee note. So he gave me a 10 rupee note. Now here a 10 rupee note. So it is not plural in nature. It is a singular entity. It is a singular expression. We never say a 10 rupees note. All right. So because it doesn't matter how many numbers we prefix or before it, but it always remains singular in nature. All right, I guess the nouns which are used in the singular form must be clear to all of you. Now let us move to the next category. The next category says nouns that are used in the plural form. So now we are going to have a glance at those nouns which cannot be ever used in the singular form in English. They are always used in the plural form, and it means that they will always have a plural verb after them. Now let us have a look at such nouns. Or the first set of nouns has words like cattle, police, poultry, people, gentry, peasantry, and artillery. So these words, they do not have s at their end, as you can see, but still they are used in the plural form and they will always have a plural verb after them. Right? We never say cattle is, we always say cattle are. Police are coming, not police is coming. Right? Poultry are being fed, not poultry is being fed. Right? People are present there, people is present there, that is wrong. The singular of people is person. People in itself is a plural noun. Now here, just to tell one thing extra, is there is also a word peoples in English, but peoples is not the plural of people. Peoples we use when we refer to people of different countries, different nationalities, then it is known as peoples. Gentry, peasantry, artillery. Let us have a look at the examples here. The first example says the police have caught the criminal. So you can see that it is written the police and it is being followed by a plural verb have. So we never say the police have caught the criminal. We never say that police has come. We always say the police have come. right? So police in itself is considered to be plural in nature in English. Next example. Next example says the cattle are grazing in the field. As I already told you, we never say the cattle is. It is always the cattle are grazing in the field, and we will never use s after cattles. We'll never say the cattles are grazing in the field. It should always be the cattle. We'll never say the cattle are grazing in the field. It will always be the cattle are grazing in the field. It will never have a s after it. All right. Moving to the next one. The next set of nouns says arms, scissors, trousers, shorts, stockings, spectacles, remains, riches, goods, measles, etc. Now you can see that all these nouns or all these words have s after them, and they are also considered to be plural in nature. Now you must be wondering, what is this word alms? So alms is something which you give to the beggars. This is not a typing mistake. It is not ARMS alms. It is ALMS alms. Alms is something which you give to the beggars, right? Rest of the other words, I guess you must be clear of. We have one word here, remains. Remains means something which is left over out of something, right? So the leftover portion of something is known as remains. Then the next word we have riches. Now what is riches? Riches is actually not the plural of rich. Rich is an adjective which is used for people, but riches is a noun. Riches means wealth, right? You must have heard a very famous quote, riches have wings. So that means wealth has wings. Wealth do not stay for a long time with a person. It can actually go away, right? Measles is a word out here. Measles, most of you must be knowing, this is the name of a disease. So all such nouns, they are plural in nature and they have a plural verb after them. Let us have a look at the first example. The first example says, scissors are cutting tools with two sharp blades connected in the middle, right? So we never say scissors is, right? It is always scissors are cutting tools because it has two blades, and that is why it is used in the plural form, right? Next one. The next example says, your goods are the things that you own and that can be moved. So your goods followed by a plural verb are. So that means goods is a noun which is a plural noun, and it is followed by a plural verb are. Your goods are the things that you own and that can be moved. So we are done with the nouns, the two sets of nouns which are always used as plural. Now let us have a look at one more example. As I mentioned, this word riches out here. So riches have wings, a very famous saying. Rust corrodes them and thieves steal them. Now riches here is not a plural of rich. I repeat that thing. It is actually wealth. That means wealth have wings, rust corrodes them and thieves steal them. Moving to the next one. Next category talks about the nouns that can be used as singular as well as plural. So that means we are going to talk about those nouns which can be used as both singular as well as plural, right? So let us have a look at the first set of words. The first set of words says deer, sheep, fish, apparatus, and wages. So you can see that there is no s at the end, right? They are always used in this form only, but they can be used as singular as well as plural. We can say deer is, we can also say deer are, we can say sheep is, we can also say sheep are. There is no plural of sheep. It is the plural of sheep is not sheeps. The plural of deer is not deers. The plural of fish is not fishes, and the plural of apparatus and wages is not apparatuses and wages. right? Let us have a look at the example. We say that the deer in the park is eating sweets thrown by the children, right? So here you can see that deer, it is being followed by a singular verb is. That means deer is acting as singular. So this is an example where this word is acting as singular. So the deer in the park is eating sweets thrown by the children. Now let us have a look at one more example with the same word, which shows that deer can be used in a plural form also. We say that deer are very attractive animals. So here word animals, this is plural in nature and it refers to deer, and you can see that deer is being followed by a plural verb are, right? So that means deer is being used in a plural sense here. Deer are very attractive animals. All right, let us have a look at one more example with the word wages. Now, we say that the wages of sin is death, right? So, the word wages, it has a singular verb is after it. So, the wages of sin is death. That means wages is acting as a singular noun here. Now, here, what does the word wages means? Is it about salary? Is it about the remuneration? No, it is not referring to remuneration or salary. Here, the wages of sin is death means the return of sin is death, or the punishment of sin is actually death. We we'll have a look at one more example here with the same word. We say that the wages of the workers are very low. Now, here wages refer to salary or remuneration, right? So the wages of the workers are very low. That means it is acting as a plural noun because it is talking about multiple workers. It is not talking about just one worker, right? So when it is talking about multiple workers, that means we will talk about wages in a plural sense. Got it? So now it must be clear how these words can be used in the singular form as well as in the plural form. Now, let me add something extra to it. I will tell you about this word fish. So there is also a word fishes in English. We have like studied or heard since our childhood that there is no word as fishes in English. I say that there is a word fishes in English, right? But fishes is not the plural of fish. The plural of fish is fish itself. Fishes can be used only when we refer to the different breeds of fish, right? So when we are talking about the different breeds of fishes, then we use the word fishes. Otherwise, we always use the word fish. If I say that, for example, assume that there are like 5 fish of the same breed in the aquarium. So I'll say that there are 5 fish in the aquarium. I'll not say that there are 5 fishes in the aquarium. But all these fishes are of the different breed, right? So then I'll say that there are 5 fishes in the aquarium instead of saying there are 5 fish in the aquarium. All right. Let us move to the next category. The next category says collective nouns such as jury, public, team, audience, committee, government, congregation, orchestra, family, etc. So these are also the words which can be used in the singular form as well as in the plural form. And this is a very, very important concept on which examiners actually test you in your placement drives as well as in your different competitive examinations of government services, right? So now, the word jury, if we talk about, this can be used as singular as well as plural depending upon the context. The word family can be used as singular as well as plural depending upon the context in which it is being used. Again, we have one more word committee, right? So, committee can be used as singular as well as plural depending upon the context in which it is being used. Let us have a look at the examples to have more clarity on this. The first example says the team has not yet scored a goal. Right. Now here team is acting as singular. Now how do we know that team is acting as singular? Because the context is scoring a goal. Right. So scoring a goal is going to be a collective effort of the team. It is not going to be the individual effort. So all the members of the team, they are not going to score a goal individually. They are actually going to score something collectively, right? So that is why your team is acting as singular in nature, and hence it should be followed by a singular verb out here, right? Let us have a look at one more example with the same word. It says the team are looking fit and fine. So now here, why do we say the team are looking fit and fine? The context is looking fit and fine. Now you only think whether the team can look fit and fine or the members of the team can look fit and fine. Obviously, the members can look fit and fine, not the team. Right? The group cannot look fit and fine. The members of that group will look fit and fine. So that is why this word team here refers to the members of the team, and hence this is acting as plural in nature, and therefore it should be followed by a plural verb are. All right. Let me give you one more example out here. Uh, if I say that the committee is or are divided in their decision to vote. The committee is or are divided in their decision to vote, right? So now here the context is decision to vote. Now how do we decide whether committee is acting as singular or plural? By looking at the context. So context is decision to vote. So once we are talking about decision to vote, everybody in the team is going to have a different decision. I might be having a different decision. The other members individually might be having a different decision regarding voting. We all will not vote collectively, right? So that means here it is acting as a plural noun. The correct answer should be the committee are divided in their decision to vote. And when it was about the decision to vote, there was also a keyword in the sentence divided. So divided means that means they were having different opinions or different decisions to vote. Therefore, committee is acting as plural in nature. Now, if I actually use this word committee in one more sentence, I say that the committee is or are united in their decision to vote, right? Or in its decision to vote. Now here you can see it is written again decision to vote, that is the context, and it is written united. So united means they have a single decision. They do not have variation in their decision to vote. So once they are not having variation in their decision to vote, they have a single decision. That means this committee is acting as a singular noun there. So here the answer should be the committee is united in its decision to vote rather than saying in their decision to vote. All right. All right. So this is all about the common errors of nouns. So here I wind up the session. So stay tuned and see you in the next session with some more like common errors on different other parts of speech. Thank you. All the best till then.